Alright farmers, welcome back to the channel. So precision farming and tillage and variable rate seeding is what we're talking about today. So according to the information that's brought out, from a tillage perspective on the environmental score, you can have up to 10 points for reduced tillage. Now depending on what game settings you play on, if you play with periodic ploughing on, obviously you are going to need to plough every 3 harvests. But if you really want to get the best score totally across the board every harvest, you might want to turn that off. But if you're going to go for a bit of realism, you're going to have to take that hit on the point scoring system. So the options we've got here today are, we're going to have a plough and a seeder, and you can also do direct sowing. Now that's going to get you the most points. That's going to get you 10 points if you cut out all the ploughing shenanigans and just go for a direct drill. So what we've got here, we've got these 2 fields, we've got the soil map in place, I've limed them up nicely, and we're going to see how that environmental score changes when we do both of these different processes. So if I jump into this tractor here, and we'll get going with the ploughing, because obviously the variable rate seeding, that is just it. Whatever seeder you use, it will change based on what soil composition you've got underneath. But obviously the thing with the tillage is going to be how you're doing it. So we'll do this field on the left with the plough, and then we'll do the right field with the direct sowing, and we'll see what happens with it. So I'm going to get this field ploughed, and I'll see you at the end. Right, so that's the field ploughed. So if we go into the menu there, so the left hand field, it's still got a environmental score of 50, because when you plough, it doesn't give you any extra points. Obviously, if you are playing with periodic ploughing on, you are going to have to take that hit every 3 years or every 3 in-game years just to get the best out of your crop. So what we're going to do now, we've got the seeder, we've got wheat on, we're going to do wheat and bow field. So we unfold it, so it says there variable rate seeding, it's on auto. Now if you'd seen the previous video on doing the lime, I couldn't get it to deactivate. Now I've changed the save game, I started a new one, and it's still not doing it on this for some reason. On the lime it did it. It did that. Oh, there we are. So deactivate automatic seed rate. No, that's not it. What's going on? Oh, there we are. It's down. RB and down on the D-pad. You got deactivate or activate. Obviously we're going to want it to be on auto to give us the best seed spreadage. So we're going to leave it on auto. If you really wanted to, you could deactivate it and put it at 300 seeds per square meter. But obviously that all depends on what soil you've got underneath. So we've got, what have we got here? We've got some sandy loam and we've got some loamy sand in this field. So obviously depending on what you're planting, obviously depends on how much seed you want to put down. So for wheat, what do we have there? So we got sandy loam is standard, so it is what it is. And then loamy sand, you get a high output, so you shouldn't need as many seeds in that part. And obviously on the second field there, we've got loam, which is a low take for your seed, so that's going to need more seed in it. So this is why you want to leave it on auto. So we want it on auto. There we are. So we'll turn it on and we'll seed the field. Oh, what's going on there? Why is that not working? Oh, I need to lower it first. That'd be a good idea. Right. There we go. That's better. So obviously as you go along, it's doing 300 seeds per square meter at the minute, because we're on that certain soil. And then once we go on to the next bit, it should change. So when we get to it, there it is. So we've gone on to the different soil type. It's now putting more seeds in because that's what it needs. So obviously depending on what soil you got underneath depends on how much seed you need. Quite simple really. So I'm going to get this field done and I'll see you at the end. Right, so that's that field sown. As you can see, doing the ploughing, it's given us nothing extra on the environmental score. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump in this tractor here. This has got the direct drill. We're going to do wheat as well. Obviously it's got the same thing, RB and down, activate, deactivate on the automatic. So you want it on auto. We'll then unfold it and we'll get cracking. So we'll all get lined up like that. There we are. So turn it on, lower it down, and away we go. So obviously this is cutting out a process. The ploughing, you're not doing it with this process. That's what gives it a better score. Because obviously the more times you go over the field, you've got soil erosion, you've got compaction, and then also you've got the fuel usage as well. So that's what gives us the different score. So I'll get on with this field and we'll see what the score gets up to at the end. Right, so that's that field direct drilled. So let's have a look at the score. So it's now gone up to 54, which is a bit strange because it says it should have 10 points for reduced tillage, which is exactly what we've done. We've done direct drill on field 54. We've only got 4 extra points. Random. Anyway, that's what you need to do to get a better score, is obviously cut down on the amount of impact you're having from an environmental situation. Obviously we ploughed field 53, and we direct drilled field 54. So obviously that's going to have less impact on the ground. It's going to use less fuel because you're only going over it in one pass rather than 2. And just stops the soil compaction, soil erosion, all that sort of thing. Which is great. Hold on a minute. That's saying pH. It's not right for that soil type. 6,500. Yeah, it was okay when we put it down. What's going on? That's very random. Maybe that needs another pass with a lime. Oh, that's interesting. You have to keep your eye on it. So what's it say over here? pH perfect. 6.5. You had that on auto as well. That's very random. Anyway, that's tillage and seeding. Variable rate seeding. If you found this episode helpful, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's muchly appreciated. But for me, that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.